What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new week of Q&A. I have my coffee, so I'm doing fantastic. How about all of you guys? Positive Audio says you should, Steven, you should check out a guy called Adern. He made a review of the Granifier in Spanish Latino with Van Halen's signature guitar. The tone definitely rocks. Waiting for the live stream. Nice, dude. That's awesome. Adern. Yeah, I'll check him out after the stream if I got some time. Clement Durin asks, which plugin is used on the intro song? Unfortunately, that's not Neural DSP track. I had to get some royalty-free stuff just for the intro. But you could definitely recreate this pretty easily with the Neural DSP stuff, for sure. Mr. Kiyami, what's up, dude? How's it going? Clement says, fine, how are you? I'm in regards to my question, how's the week been treating? I'm doing pretty good. Just squashed for time right now. I'm actually writing, recording, and mixing a track for Friday's video. But yeah, other than that, things are fantastic. All right. Yeah, Mr. Kiyami says, I totally dig that intro guitar sound. Yeah, that's why I picked the track. I actually really love the track because I don't know if you guys have ever looked into royalty-free music. Like 90% of it's pretty garbage. But like that little 10% is pretty dope. That one track is actually pretty cool. I liked it when I heard it, so I grabbed it. Kendall James says, hey guys, praise be unto you, Lord Stephen. I feel uncomfortable with that. That's blasphemy, I think. Not that I care. Agnostic, atheist, whatever. Anyway, that is neither here nor there. How's it going, Kendall? Good to see you, man. Matthias, what's up, dude? He says, what's up, guys? Couldn't make it last week because I had to work all night long. Stoked to make it this week. Dude, I'm glad to have you, man. It's great to see you again. James Yellow, what's up? I'm doing fantastic. Just got my caffeine. Gonna get my caffeine high going before I finish out the day. It's like, yeah, because it's 1 o'clock here, and I don't plan on leaving till like probably like 7 or 8 tonight. Just because I gotta get shit moving. So yeah, it's gonna be a good day. Diego Gonzalez Moragas says you really should dial in a Tesseract tone with the Fortin Nameless. Yeah, I would love to. Something between the Fortin Nameless, maybe the new Granifier could probably handle that as well. I would have to really kind of like mess around with it. But definitely gonna look into that because I love Tesseract. I just have to find the right instruments and pickups and everything like that. Like I'm actually kind of like, It's kind of funny because I'm limited in a way because I have like specific types of guitars here, but in order to get like a really good convincing sound, like having that source is very, very like, it's necessary. But yeah, that's definitely on my list for sure. Oh, Senja Yellow says, sad because I don't have the archetype of Bossy, and I missed the 40% off sale. So if you have like 2 or more of our plugins, we have a loyalty program. If you check it out on our website, so you can at least get the 20% off. But yeah, Stay Metal Ray, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man. How's the world been treating you? I'm glad to see your videos recently. I've been doing pretty well. Let's see. Carl, what's up, dude? Williams Aaron, what's up? Michael D, good to see you, brother. Rob King says, loving the Omega Ampworks Granifier amp sim. About to make a video of it. Nice, dude. Fantastic. John Voight, what's up? Williams Aaron says, sandwich in hand. Yeah, dude, I got my caffeine, I got my granola. I'm doing all right here as well. Let's see. Gosh, man, it's a bunch of people in here today. That's awesome. So how's everybody doing? How's everybody liking the stuff going on the channel recently? So like, I kind of want to check in with you guys and see what y'all think about, like, the artist tones, how those are faring, because they seem to be doing really well. Wondering if you guys think that there's any way that I could improve or change. Because I think that, like, obviously I'm making this content for you guys. I'm making it for myself as much as anything else, but I'm making it for you guys because I know that you guys are enjoying it. But, like, I'm curious to know if you guys have anything, like, that you want to see specifically me do with those videos. So think about that. Put it in the comments, and we'll work through some stuff. I'm also kind of working on some other things like the drum MIDI stuff and like an overarching guitar tone like vision sort of series. But you know, we'll work on that for sure. But I'd love to get your guys' feedback as well and see if there's anything that you guys specifically want, because I think, you know, it's about what you guys want. I'm here to serve you guys essentially. So. Zach Manzano, what's up, dude? Yeah, it's been a bit. How's life treating you? John Voight asks, hello, Steve. What's the best way to play the plugins into a real guitar cabinet? So having a real guitar cabinet, you would have to have. So, I had this set up. There's actually a video on the channel where I used the Archetype Plini through. I went into, so I have like my Focusrite 6i6 interface. So I was plugging my guitar straight into the interface, and then interface I had Archetype Plini on my laptop, and then my output went to the Dark Glass Microtubes 500, but only just because I want the solid state power amp. So what I had was I had a connection from the output of my interface to the effects return. So that way I'm not getting any of the preamp distortion from the microtubes. I'm only getting the volume from the power amp section, because the solid state are cleaner than a tube power amp. So that's essentially what I did. So, and then from there I went out to my cabinet. So that's a pretty easy way to do it. And then there's also like, you can also use, I mean, in place, like you could use, instead of an interface, you could use like the OMEC teleport. The only thing that I see as a drawback with the OMEC teleport, instead of using like the Focusrite 6i6 or 4i4, is that you won't have the MIDI inputs on the back. So like I use my 6i6 because it has the 5-pin MIDI in on the back, which allows me to control my plugin via MIDI foot controller. This one you would then have, if you use like the OMEC, then you would have to find a way to get like, you know, a 5-pin MIDI to USB so you can have your MIDI foot controller go directly to your laptop. But so those are a couple of ways that you could do that. You could also use, I think it's called this, I think it's Seymour Duncan makes it. It's called the Power Stage 170 or something like that, which is a solid state power amp. I've heard it's pretty good, but I haven't checked that out myself. Oh, Modern Vintage. So Modern Vintage says, hey everyone, Steve, can you discuss the compression levels of the Omega versus Nolly versus Nameless, etc.? Omega seems to be the most compressed, least dynamic. Just wondering your thoughts. Well, I think that it's probably just inherent with the actual head. I feel like it's fairly dynamic. You just have to like kind of, you have to coax it a little bit. I feel like I've been able to get some pretty good tones and I mean, like, unless you're talking about playing dynamics, in which case, like, some of the IRs are a little bit more bouncy than others. Just my first instinct, like, I've honestly had the plugin for maybe 7 days, so I've had like just a little bit of time to really like get used to it and get knowledgeable with it. But I feel like it's still pretty dynamic. I feel like as far as like the 1-to-1 ratio, like I feel like it still is super comparable with the physical head. The thing is that the physical head is more of an American model anyway, so you're going to have a lot more of that kind of compression and that saturation style. If you go on the website, like they do mention that there's like American kind of components where, I mean, I guess like you could probably get like some cool like Mesa Boogie sort of vibes out of this one. So yeah, so that's kind of my thought about this one versus the others, where like a lot of the others tend to be like British, Marshall, AC30, whatever. Like there's a bunch of like these kind of British modded kind of styles. Like this one definitely is a lot more American style with its saturation characteristics. So that's kind of my opinion on that. Mr. Kiami, any plans on a metronome for the Quad Cortex? Not that I'm aware of. Yeah, I don't think that there's going to be one. Pavel asks, how is the Valentine's Day shred contest going? A lot of responses. I haven't really checked in. I saw a couple of people post in the forum, so I think that people are getting into it and having a good time with it. But like this week has been so crazy trying to get multiple pieces of content out on the channel, like one on Monday and one on Friday, that I've had like zero time to really pay attention to anything else. I'm a very like single track minded sort of person. Like whenever I start working on something, everything else goes away. That's the only way that I can get anything really done. Is just like I have to like concentrate on a task until it's completed, and then I can move on to other things. But I'm super stoked to looking into what people have done so far. Actually, you know what? Here, I'm gonna check something. This is my gauge. Because I can track how many people have downloaded. Okay, so 300. Okay, so the track has been downloaded 323 times. So that's not too bad. I imagine that probably that number is going to be like triple or more by the time the contest is up. But yeah, it'll be pretty soon. Hell yeah. Michael D says, I'm recording my entry for the contest today. Stay tuned, Steven. Awesome, dude. Can't wait to see it, man. I'm just going to skip over that one. Here Lies Brandon. That's a cool name. Here Lies Brandon says, I just refunded my Bias FX2 Elite so I can buy the Nameless Suite. Yo, it sounds a billion times better than Bias FX2. I agree, man. I've used the Bias stuff before, and I just was not stoked on it. Like I've used the Bias effects, I've used the Easy Mix stuff, I've used what else is there? I don't know. I've used a bunch of shit, and like yeah, there's a reason why I can like wholly get behind what Neural does, is because I've used everything else and I can see how good their stuff is. So I've been able to you know. I got a little inside stuff, you know. Courtney says, are you looking to experiment with other genres of music? Yes, I am. It's pretty straightforward. Yeah, I want to. Just depends on what people want, you know. Kendall says, gonna record my solo contest entry soon. It'll be up this Sunday. Fuck yeah, dude. I'm looking forward to it. Uncle John says, hello, Steven. Do you have any idea about updates, especially Pliny? The Pliny one is in beta testing right now. It's going to be done really soon. I don't know when. I've not been given a date, so I can't give you a date. Like I've just been seeing some of the other people that are actually part of the development of the updates posting on social media saying that it's on its way. So that's the best that I can really do. Because the thing is, like, like somebody went onto the Neural page and explained it through our, you know, one of the developers, or maybe Francisco, maybe somebody, kind of went into it, because it's like, well, the other plugins have the tuner and the MIDI stuff already, right? Like they all have like the things that people want, right? It's not as simple as copying and pasting code from one plugin to another, because any line of code could change like drastically how a plugin works, and then you have to fix bugs, and then you have to fix the bugs that fix makes, and you know, so like it's a whole process, because what they want to do is they want to give you the updates when everything is 100% ready. Like they don't want to put out an update and then have to try and put out another update like 3 months down the road. Like I appreciate how patient everybody is being, but I do ask for you guys just to continue being patient with us for a little bit longer as we continue working on the updates. So yeah, it's coming very soon though. Long story short, TLDR. Let's see. Lear, what's up, dude? How's it going? Patrick said, would love to see what you were using on your master bus when mixing. Sure, for sure. I might get into that towards the latter half of the stream if it's not super busy. Because I'm actually working on a track right now that's going to go up on Friday, so I would want to get some of my stuff kind of ready. Or I might be able to bring up a different project. You know, I could probably bring up the yeah, if you guys want to see what I do with the mastering bus on the Valentine's Day ballad, let me know. Let me know. Okay, sorry, I'm skipping back up in the chat right now, reading through comments. Jesse says, hope you're doing well, man. Got a quick one for you. When will we get to see the quad Cortex running multi-instruments? We'd love to swap our Kempers for one QC unit and have a smaller rack setup. For sure. I know the demos are going to be coming, I think, in the next 2 to 3 months, maybe 4. I'm not sure. I know that once they get everything solid, stable, after they port all of the stuff that they're bringing over and making sure everything runs, smoothly, I know that they're going to be pumping out demonstrations and everything like that. So like I'm going to be bringing up like once I get the QC, you're going to see so much stuff from me. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, so like in the next couple of months for sure. Sorry, I was reading something. William Zarin says, I've been getting an intervals tone using Nolly 3rd amp and cutting the gain low. I'm using Strandberg with Fishman Moderns. Yeah. That could definitely be super useful. I'm actually getting like a similar sort of tone with the Granifier and using the good old Happus guitar here, because it has a split coil tap, and using like the neck or the in between position has been really cool. I'm sure you'll hear some of the stuff this Friday. Ooh, Mr. Kiami says Artist Tone Alter Bridge. That's one that's been mentioned before. I think Mark Tremonti is a great guitar player. That's one I would sincerely enjoy doing. All right, let's go. I'm just gonna skip down to the current stuff in the page. Leonard says, I'm having trouble dialing in my Nolly plugin to get a usable mix tone. Any tips? What sort of problems are you running into? Like that's really where the question has to start. Like, I have a problem with this. How can I address it? Because mix tones, like, I would say like the Nolly, you can get some of the best like mix ready tones pretty much immediately. Like, so yeah, so it depends on if you're like saying like, well, the plugin is too dark, in which case go with different impulse responses or use the inbuilt EQ to like shape your tone into your mix. But here's the thing, like I would say that like take the time to be addressing everything in the mix rather than solo, because I think that that's a big problem that a lot of people have when they're starting to dial in guitar tones with the plugins, is that like it's very, very tempting to just listen to a guitar tone soloed and then like pop it in the mix and go like, that's not right. So I guess a tip would be just to get your guitar's level in the mix and then flip through your impulse responses to find the one where you like it the best, and then start adjusting from there. So like you go to like I love the 57 and the 414 in that one. Which other ones are there? Hang on a second. I'm gonna pull up my Pro Tools real quick and see what other stuff there is in the Nolly. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you guys can check this out too. All right. So you start off with the single impulse response, right? So like you have the 57, 421, 414, and the 160. So you have these four, which are pretty dope. Like I generally tend to like the 57 and the 414 the best, like the ribbon sometimes if I want a little extra low end. But so the way that I go about it is that like I start with, well here, let's just show you a practical application, yeah. Okay, so like this is something that I'm working on for Friday. Let's just pull something up here. I'm going to unfreeze these tracks. I'm gonna loop this section. And this is not mixed. This is still not like where I want it to be just yet, but we'll just, for the sake of argument, I'm gonna turn off my Omega plugins. Let's go ahead and put the Nolly on. Mono, drag this to here. Now here's the thing here, like, so my plugins, like these two tracks are grouped. So my solo, my bypass, all of my controls within my plugin are linked to each other. So I can just move both guitars on each side and get like the most dialed in sound possible right off the bat. So let's hope that this doesn't fucking blow us out of the water. Okay, so now I'm about level, right? Okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to start going through like the impulse responses. Like I'll start flipping through the cabinets first, right? So first the cabinets, then the impulse responses. Okay, so I like the second cabinet. It has a mid-range that I'm really digging. And it's either for me between these two that sound pretty dope. So now that I know what the cabinet is going to be, then I'm going to flip through the impulse responses and figure out which ones I like the best. So I like the 57. Let's try mixing this with the 120, either the 421 or the 160. And that is generally where I will kind of start. So that's all just through working impulse responses and the EQ. Now I can go into the settings on my head and start there. So you get kind of the idea. That's generally where I would start. Yeah, Leonard, not a problem, man. Anytime. Yeah, I think that most of the... Okay, yeah. He says, so Leonard followed up with having trouble getting that throaty tone I'm looking for. They're a bit too squishy. Yeah, no, the... another good way to get rid of that squishiness... Oh, that's, hang on a second, let me get my face here. Another thing that you can do is, like, I don't know if you saw that last little bit where I took the overdrive and I pushed the level and then brighten up the tone and then drop the gain on that. That's also a good way to get sort of that throaty tone, because you're basically scooping out a little bit, like you're doing a little pre-shaping with the overdrive pedal and then pushing that into the saturation of the head, which can kind of get you that sort of sound, which I really like. Scotty Dog says, how do you personally send Pro Tools through OBS? Not very related to Neural DSP, LOL. Just been curious about how to do that. So I went through like a fucking arduous journey trying to get like this system stable enough to stream for like a full hour. But basically what I do is OBS will read your first two inputs as microphone, right? And there, like, for some reason, OBS and Pro Tools on this PC do not really play well together, especially when they're trying to use the same same sound card. So what I did to try and make things a little easier is what I do is I have a send in my Pro Tools session. Just before it hits SonarWorks, I have a send out to outputs 5 and 6. And then those 5 and 6 get routed to my input 1 and 2. And then I use internal routing to make my microphone go to that same output as well. So I use a physical output to get the audio back to you guys. It's not elegant and it's not pretty, but it works. It's been the most stable solution that I found thus far, because at the end of the day, like, this has been working for me and I don't really have enough time in the day to do the research to figure everything else out. Like, between content creation and managing my schedule and everything like that for just the Neural DSP content, like, it's difficult for me to find time to get everything else, because like there are other solutions, right? Like there's paid solutions, like different like Dante Via is one solution that I heard about, and I gave it a try and it worked all right, but like this has been more functional for me. So yeah, so long, that's basically the long and short of it. John Voight asks, Steve, since we got a dedicated amp plugin with the Omega amp, will we see other boutique amp plugins in the future, like a KSR Rev or Driftwood plugin? I don't know, actually. I don't know if that's in the works at all. To be honest, I hope so, but I kind of keep myself out of that process, to be honest, because then if I don't know, then I'm good with just being surprised. They'll let me know when they need me to do stuff. So, but yeah. So I don't know if that's gonna happen. That'd be cool if they did, but I'm not sure. It's funny. No. Okay, so. Yeah, Williams Aaron says, I want to start doing videos on tones. Just go through and show how much you can do with every amp. I don't know where to start. Might be a goal this year. Yeah, dude. It's hard. Like, I mean, it is challenging, especially because you have to teach yourself how to, do everything with video production. You have to script your own stuff. You have to build your own plans, do all of the like everything. Like it's definitely challenging. It's fun though. It's definitely worth investing your time in to do it. But yeah, definitely. Michael D says, "Hey guys, I'm back after a network hiccup here that I missed Steven's mastering bus trick." Yeah, Carl still says still waiting for mastering tips. Okay, so when it comes to mastering, like I can't tell you guys enough how how important having a solid mix beforehand is. So hopefully this stays stable while I do this. So I'm gonna try and do something real quick. I'm gonna close this session, and then I'm gonna open up the Valentine's Day ballad. So again, hopefully this works. Go back to this real quick. Jean Borges says a rev would be awesome. Steve, any good pointers for learning how all this EQ thing works besides messing with it? So dedicated practice, like what's the word? Hyper focused attention to detail. Getting, like, I would say, spend as much time, like unfortunately the long and short of it is, like, you do just have to mess around with it for a long time till your ears get used to knowing what you want to hear and how things are exactly supposed to sound. There is a measure of experience that you have to get really good at this. Like, I feel like I've gotten pretty decent over the last several years. But it's just because I've spent the time really focusing in and going like, okay, what does a high shelf do on this one? How is it going to help my guitars poke out? Like, should I use multi-band compression to get this mid-range up, but still kind of like leave it sort of in the mix or dynamic or whatever? Like, there's definitely going to be things that you'll try. But like what I would do, like something that helped me, what you can do, get your tracks all in a session. Don't try and do anything to it except for just level it. Like, make sure that everything sounds level, like it should be a mix, right? And then go through, solo each track, make some EQ moves that you think might help, and then go through track by track and EQ everyone. Don't do any compression, don't do any saturation, don't do anything else, but just do some EQ moves on each one, and then find a way to bypass and unbypass all of those EQ instances of the EQ. That's a good first step, because then you can hear what those EQ moves do, because it's like the human ear is actually really sensitive to audio. Like we tend to become used to the frequencies that we're hearing after only a few seconds. Like we actually stop hearing certain frequencies after a long enough period of time. That's why you find so many people saying, oh, I worked on this mix all night long and I came back the next day and it sounds like shit. It's like, yeah, well, you never gave yourself a break. So your ears are very, very sensitive. So when you go through and you EQ every single piece of your mix, and then you bypass it and unbypass it, you can hear exactly what all of those moves did. So that's a good way to do it. And I would recommend as few moments on each EQ move as possible. Just open it up, like solo it, say like, okay, I want this brighter. All right, and then move on to the next one. Like just make these gut decisions and then see where they get you. And then it's just repetition after that. So Modern Vintage says, what has to be done to get Misha to join the neural cult? His friends are already members, Tosin, Nolly, Ola, Archetype Gentleman, Archetype Misha. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Again, I kind of try and stay out of that a little bit. Help wherever I need to, but otherwise, we'll see what happens in the future. Yeah, Leonard said, I noticed in regards to me talking about using the overdrive is that he said the notice drive pedal really helped in that regard. Thanks. It's my pleasure, dude. Anytime. Like that's a pretty like gosh, I think Ermin Haminovic said something about that during one of his videos recently, saying like it was like an old Andy Sneap forum trick that people used to like toss around, is using like a tube screamer overdrive, back in the gain all the way down, and then just like pushing the level up so you like boost it into the saturation, boosted into the head for saturation. Like I think it's a pretty dope trick. It's been one of my favorites recently. Yeah, Scotty Dog, you're running into the same problems that I had, man. He says, sweet, thanks. Yeah, Googling gave a million options, and same thing this side. Fucking around takes a lot of time away from productivity. Agreed. 100% agreed. Because he's looking into doing streaming from his DAW. But yeah, like this, it's just a simple solution. Just having the physical ins and outs would actually like, it gave me a good way to do it. So like, I even record my content a similar way, where I have the outputs 5 and 6 going to my laptop. So I record my vocal and my Pro Tools audio, and then use OBS and then sync the two together after the fact. Like it just makes it a little bit easier, a little bit more cleaner and more stable. Yeah, Clement says the overdrive trick is known since many years, actually. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. So, Kindle James says, is using the different aspects of these plugins in standalone mode possible? Example, Nameless's pedal section and Abasi's head section. In standalone, no. You would have to have some sort of wraparound to do that, whether it's either in your DAW or like some people have been saying Blue Cat audio or whatever. Like there's a couple of different things that you could use. But as far as like just the exact standalones, like it's not, you might as well just have it in your DAW. Like at a certain point, like the complexity just becomes too frustrating. So it's not like, if you find a way to do it that gets over the latency, then awesome. Email me and let me know so I can also share. But like, yeah, I try to fuck around with it, and like, I am against all perceptions. I am a lazy person. I am one of the most lazy people you will ever meet. And in that sense, I don't want to have to spend like 6 hours trying to get something to work, especially when I have a viable solution in my DAW already, right? Like, so like using the standalones and trying to link them together in sequence, like that just became such an arduous and frustrating task. I was just like, no, I'm done. Like I tried what I knew, and I tried a couple of tricks, and I even got I got audio to go from my nameless into the nollie. I think I did like the nameless's head into the nollie's IR section, but I was having some problems with popping and clicking and latency issues. So Clement says, yes, I use the Blue Cat daily and it works really well. I can mix the neural plugins, put in IR, blah, 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 blah. But like the thing about that I don't like is have sending people off to spend $200 on a new program when they could just as well use their DAW. So that one gets a little dicey. Oh, so in this cup is just coffee. I need my caffeine fix right about now. Okay. Masamune Metal says, is your t-shirt supposed to be the Metallica Black Album snake? If so, rock on. I boost the Mesa Dual Rec with a TS9. Yeah, with the Kirk Hammett. No, this is not Metallica. This is Slytherin, because I'm a Slytherin. My girlfriend bought me this shirt, and yeah, that's what this is. Because I'm a nerd. Yeah, no, so Modern Vintage says Misha using a QC or a DSP plugin would likely drive sales more than anything. He's pretty much the person responsible for Fractal's early success. His post calling QC a game changer is huge. I agree, man. I agree. I really liked seeing that. It was great to see how many people really enjoyed the QC at the NAMM show. Matthias says the laziest people have the best ideas. That's why I'm pretty good at my job. Dude, let's work smarter, not harder. Find the best way to do the hardest jobs, and you're gonna be good. Yeah, Michael D says the Harry Potter fan club strong. Yeah, nerds rule. I agree. I totally agree. It's great. I've been getting my girlfriend into Harry Potter, and she's really been she's been loving it. So Arch, I'm just going to say Arch, says, how will the neural plugins integrate with the quad Cortex? Will I be able to use the nameless head with the onboard effects and cabs? So you'll get a ported version of your plugins into your account after the release of the quad Cortex. It's on the FAQ page if you go there. And search for that. Yeah. But yeah, so like if you own the plugins, you'll get a ported copy. Yeah. There you go. So yeah, you'll be able to use the nameless head in there. So Mr. Kiyami says, according to Neural Quad Cortex forum, entire list consists of full circuit models and will continue to expand permanently. Neural captures will also be added later. Any word on when later is? You might be so like additional neural captures will be added later on. Yeah, so the additional neural captures. They're not talking about the actual function of the neural capture, as far as I know. Modern Rigid says, more so blown away, sold, etc. than enjoyed. You guys won NAMM by a long shot. Congrats again on the entire team. Thanks, man. That was amazing. Like those whole 4 days were just like a blur of people, and it was like a lot of fun to get into. It was a lot of fun to be at. Yeah, I enjoyed myself, and to see that, since we got like the award and everything like that, it's been really, really cool seeing what we got going on. Hi, Steve. Lyric Bread says, "Hi, Steve. Can you please confirm that the first batch of the Quad Cortex will have a headphone jack?" I don't see why not. Is there a post that says that they're not going to get a headphone jack? Because we had headphone jacks at the NAMM show. I don't know if you guys saw, we had headphones like the entire time. So I don't know if there's somebody saying that we're not. Inti Rebello, or whatever. Inti says, why only 2 expression pedals? Helix 3, 1 on board. Because they decided to have 2. I mean, I don't know the reasoning behind it, but like, you know, I feel like that would be, okay. Jorge is straightening me out on something. He said that the headphone jack thing was related to a Fractal Audio FM3 not having the headphone jack. Bad joke. I got it now. Yeah, like I said, like I pay so little attention to anything that's outside of these 4 walls. It's okay. Okay, that makes so much more sense now. I'm like, wait, we had a headphone jack. We had several. Like, yeah, okay. Man. Is that real, though? They don't have headphone jacks? Oh, that's weird. That's super weird. All right, whatever. All right. Masamune says, will the Cortex come with built-in power amp, or will it come with a future iteration? I think that it does not come with a power amp currently. I don't know about future iterations. I'm not sure about the... I'm not sure about that. Chris, what's up, dude? Good to see you, Chris Coleus. How's it going, man? Yeah, okay. So it's 1:51. Let's go ahead and start putting in a call for last questions. Oh, that's hilarious. Clement says, yeah, apparently the first batch of fractals don't have a headphone jack. That's hilarious. Michael D, have a good one, dude. We'll see you next week. Oh, that sucks. Okay, Mr. Kiami is also kind of give me. So, due to China's virus situation with the coronavirus, the Fractal cannot provide headphone output jacks on first batch. Oh, that's actually kind of fucked up. Ah, that sucks. I didn't know that. Genosis says, do you think the coronavirus epidemic will hinder the shipping schedule for Quad Cortex this September? I don't think so, but I'm really not sure at this point. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I hope not. I hope everything gets squared away by the time production starts. Patrick's guitar. Does the Quad Cortex get a guitar doubler? What? Hang on a second. Oh, God. Sorry. Gosh. Yeah, okay, sorry. I got distracted. Does the Quad Cortex get a guitar doubler? I mean, like, what you could do is you could thank you, everybody. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I don't know. I don't think it does right now. I mean, you could split your signal and then affect it differently to double your signal. That's in that sense. So that's possible. I don't know right off the top of my head. Carl, maybe mastering tips for next Q&A. Yeah, you know what? I will do that. What I'll do is I'll get a couple of mixes together, some of the stuff that I've worked on, and then show you some of the ways that I would treat a mix before and after. So yeah, so that's what I'll do for the next Q&A. Is just go over some mastering tips. Maybe take like 20 minutes and go over a couple of things. Let's see. Okay. Lard Graves says, "Hey Steven, my latest discovery is that the nameless stereo consumes much more CPU than Nolly and Pliny, etc. Is there a reason for that? Perhaps it's something that needs fixing." Quite possibly. Go ahead and email that to support@neuraldsp.com and they'll put that in the queue. Here Lies Brandon asks, which do you prefer, Omega or Nameless? It really depends on what you're looking for. I'm actually really surprised in how much I like the Omega. I'm not surprised necessarily, but it's like, the Omega was coming out. I heard it was coming out, and I'm like, okay, cool, like another like metal amp sim. But like, I'm actually having a lot of fun dialing in some of these like low gain, clean, and kind of crunchy sort of tones with it. Having a lot of fun with it. Do I think that it takes the place of the Nameless? Not necessarily, but I think that it's definitely they're going to be really good. Like they're two different flavors. And you can get some really, really great styles with either or, I think. I don't know if I could choose a favorite, honestly. Scotty Dog asks, how many subs to be sent plugins to demo? Probably a few more than 45, I guess. Yeah, when you start getting like a couple of thousand, like, let me know. We'll start there and see what happens, because it's not necessarily about subs, it's about interaction. It's about what sort of pull you have. But yeah, 45 is definitely not quite enough. You're on your way though. You're on your way. Aaron Short Music, will the QC be able to switch amp channels via MIDI and have scenes snapshots? Yes. Mr. Kiami, which plugin is best for crunchy rock tone? You can go with either the Pliny second head, the Nolly second head. If you go with like low gain on the Nameless, it's really good too. Basically what you do, use the hex drive and then draw back the level. So you're basically lowering the output from the pedal into the head. So it saturates a little bit less there. I actually really enjoyed, like, I started working on like some Stevie Ray Vaughan tones, and that the Nameless actually sounds fucking killer for that. But yeah. John McDaniel, what's up, dude? Yeah, we still got a couple minutes to hang out. Genosis asks, can the looper be activated when you switch to the preset it's stored in? Will there be a way to do this? I don't know, actually, because the looper hasn't been, instantiated on the Cortex to my knowledge yet. I know that that's something that they are probably going to add in as we go, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure where it's at. Robert Crockett asks, will you have a pumpkin model? I don't know. I know everybody's willing to do so, but nothing has been broached yet, so I don't know. Let's see. Jorge asks, will the tuner of the Quad Cortex have an offset feature that allows for different types of tuning, i.e. tuning to A432 as opposed to A440? I imagine so, yes. I have personal opinions on different tunings, but that's just me. Modern Vintage asks, what are you finding the Omega does that Nolly or Nameless doesn't? Well, I think that like it's just a matter of versatility, and we kind of like spoke on it before in previous Q&As, where like the ability to change your settings, change your tones, and just let your kind of inspiration work you through a process. I find that that's better, and I feel like the Omega is sort of like the Nameless in that it is a great Like it's a great like solid metal head. But like the ability to swap out your power tubes and their specific impulse responses like gives it a different range than the nameless. So kind of like talking about like workflow and really just getting into like a point where your inspiration can kind of guide the music rather than having to try and fiddle with knobs and dials and shit like that. Like I feel like the Omega just adds to the workflow. Yeah, like I don't think that it does. Like as I said earlier, it's just another flavor. And for me, I like my ice cream shops with a lot of different flavors. So like, so the same thing with my amplifiers. Let's see. Yeah, start wrapping up. Modern Vintage says thoughts on mix preset. Very fuzzy as per his preference. I haven't checked it out actually. Yeah, so I got sent the Omega before the final release. And I didn't get any of the presets, and I haven't downloaded the current to get those ones yet, but I'll have to check that one out for sure. Michael Ott says, my Nolly standalone has latency to the point it's not playable, yet works fine in Cubase 10 with very minimal latency. Any reason why? I'm using RME Babyface on PC. Go to your settings on the plugin and check your buffer settings. It could also be, okay, so here, this is like a problem that people have. Okay. We're gonna do this real quick. Hopefully this stays stable again while I do this. Okay. So when you go to like the audio setup, make sure that you have your Audio set, because if you're using Windows Audio, the same sound cards will be available. So like you could go Windows Audio, Focusrite USB, whatever, and then like that will, that will make you hear your instrument. Like you could still route it that way, but you're gonna get huge amounts of latency despite whatever the buffer size is. So make sure that your audio device type is Audio and your audio device is the sound card that you want to use, that you're plugging into. Otherwise, you're gonna get some like nasty latency. Using the Windows Audio or whatever. So hopefully that helps your situation. Let's go back to face. Tom Pankhurst says, got the chance to try the Cortex at NAMM. I'm probably going to sell my Kemper and get one later on in the year. Forgot to see if it fits in a 2U rack drawer. Do you know if it does? I believe it does. I think so. Let me double check that. I'm just gonna look at the website and see what the specs are. Like I said, lazy. Do. Yeah, it's pretty small. That should fit in a 2U rack space. How tall is it? Sorry, guys. I'm sure that this is super interesting to watch me just stare at a screen. I would say that's probably about like 2 inches tall, maybe a little bit more. It should be able to fit in a 2U spot. Anywho. Should. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. David Fourniers asks, on that note, what is a good buffer size to select? Usually I go for in between 256 and 128. Depends on what your computer can handle, because if you set your sample rate to 44.1 to start and then work your way up to like 128 on your buffer size. If that starts to like get all like poppy and clicky and stuff like that, back it off to 256. That's about where I find that the latency is bearable and it doesn't throw off my playing at all. Yeah. That's where I start. If you're going up to 48 kilohertz sample rate, you'll get actually less latency on those same values because you have more samples per second or per cycle. So yeah, so I generally try to go between that 128 and 256 range. So cool. Do. Awesome. Jeff Hune asks if the Neural DSP plugins will be ported to the QC. Will the QC amp models go the other way and be available as plugins? I don't know. I would have to check into that. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But for right now, it is 2:05. I am going to call it a day because I have a lot more work ahead of me. So in the interest of making sure that I get my video up and running on time, I'm just going to go ahead and call it a day from here. And I just want to thank you guys again for hanging out with me on another week of Q&As. Also, to you guys who are still hanging out, I see 60 concurrent viewers on the YouTube metrics. So I'm kind of curious what you guys think about doing streaming of other things as well as the Q&As. Like if you want to see me do like either the construction of the songs that I use for the Neural DSP stuff, or if you want to watch the mixing or the mastering, like, is that something that you guys would find interesting, useful, whatever? So that way, like, I can even schedule in additional streams. Let me know in the comments, tag me on Facebook, whatever. Let me know what you guys think. I'm going to get out of here. Jorge says all of it. Yes. Fantastic. Well, cool, man. Well, I'm going to leave it at that. I'll see you guys. Yes, and yes. Mixing and mastering. Yes. Awesome. All of the above. Got a lot of really great, good responses. Excellent. Okay. Lear says, do you still have plans on filming your guitar setup? Yes, I do. I do still plan on doing that. So yeah, a lot of people want to know about the mixing and mastering. Okay. So what I might do is I might start working through and kind of getting ready a couple of things for you guys. And I'll have those posted and scheduled in advance so you guys really know what's happening. So I might do that on this channel. I might do it on another channel. So I'll definitely keep you guys in the loop and let you know what's up. Fantastic. Well, with that, I'm just going to go ahead and call it a day. Let's want to filming. Okay. Perfect. Awesome. I love you guys. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you on that next video. See ya.